I think it's always just a mixture of both, you know, because we have a bike set up for the speed we're going right now, and then once we get a little more, it's like, okay, we need a little bit more out of the bike and stuff like that. But the bike was handling not too bad today, and it was good enough to win, thankfully. And no, since Southwick, our bike's made a big improvement. I think that's also helped kind of unlock that little bit extra speed.
Great ride again today, Jet Lawrence. We'll turn it over to questions from the media.
Jim Kimball with Motocross Action for Justin Cooper. Justin, obviously you're racing outdoors and you're trying to win, you're trying to do your best. Are you also thinking about the SMX points much in between races and stuff? I say that because you have to be doing well in SMX.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's cool, but yeah, at the same time, you know, doing my job on the weekends is going to help that. So just really taking it race by race and really just trying to be, you know, on the podium where I'm at today. Today was overall pretty hectic for the team all around, and yeah, it's the team put in a lot of work today, and you know that's doesn't go unnoticed. And you know, big shout out to them for, you know, going the extra mile to take care of us riders and get us back out there for Moto 2 and on our good equipment.
How about a quick one for Jet Lawrence? Jet, I'm curious, when you are in the lead and you have a big gap over second, is it easier or can you get distracted, or do you ever find yourself thinking about something else? Is it tough to maintain that pace?
Yeah, sometimes I have a squirrel brain. I'll be thinking of something random, not even about dirt bikes. Sometimes, but no, when I have a really good flow and I'm not really focusing too much on the gap, yeah, I'm just focusing on my lines and which line prior was a little bit thinner than the rest, where it's going to be blown out, is going to have a big pocket in it and stuff like that. So I'm more focused on those things when I'm out front, not too focused on the gap, or I'll think of that once I'm in the kind of the mechanics area, like going past pitboard straight. So yeah.
Scott Yarjo of Moto Now. Jet, you're lying on the ground first lap. What's your mentality like in that moment? Are you thinking about the overall? Are you thinking about, I need to go in this moto? Because it seemed like you were riding with a lot of intensity after that.
Well, the first thing came to mind was get the F up and get going, because this ain't going to be the place you want to be staying. So, yeah, just like normal, you know, just kind of evaluate the situation I'm in. All right, I went down, asked too much for the tires in that one section, and get up. All right, where am I at? You know, P18. All right, we'll just kind of, the guy can see them right there. So I think like it's going to be a little harder than obviously Moto 1, but we'll just try and just stick to our lap times and see what we can do.
You were jumping to the inside after the rollers. Is that something you started doing that moto? Because it seemed like the line was like jumping over the roller, then drifting outside, but you were like fully committed inside. It seemed like a little scary sometimes. What were your, like, walk us through that, I guess.
No, I was doing that yesterday as well in press. Kind of, for me, it just sets it up better for myself to get over that, because that single's pretty big and steep, so better just to jump over it and take it out. And after a little bit, the bump that's normally there I'm popping off kind of shaves down a little bit more and more, just because I'm probably the only one hitting it, so it kind of gets a little harder, but nothing too crazy.
And Hunter, I think Jet crashed right in front of you in that second moto. Are you thinking, okay, this is my opportunity to get that overall win finally? Like, what are your thoughts? And then you're obviously watching him slowly catch you every lap.
Yeah, I seen him crash, and I just focused on my race. That's pretty much it. Honestly, it's not that much that goes through your mind at the point. It's like first lap, you know, so there's still a lot of race to be raced. So just probably the same as what everyone else saw, and go, Jet's on the ground.
Hey, Mitch Kendrick, Racer X. This one's for both Jet and Hunter. Obviously, this was the Honda RedBud National, and you guys both delivered, and Joe delivered as well in the 250 class. It's kind of a softball question, but can you talk about how it feels to deliver on such a big event for your team, your brand, and everybody that was here?
Yeah, I mean, the big bosses are in town, so you better pull your finger out and ride good, because you got to look good for them, you know. And Joe did well also in the 250 class. He rode unreal, so it was good to see. He dropped dropped the rest of the guys. So it was good to see Joe back and running like himself. And yeah, I think the boss is just like, you just want to do a little bit better so that makes the bosses happy.
Yeah, good weekend. 1-2 in the Premier class. Obviously, Joe had an amazing day, so it's cool. You know, they make the big trip over. We had Tony Bauer and Gabrielle as well, two of the best trials riders in the world, flew over for the demo today and stuff. And yeah, it was cool. Special day for Honda for sure.
And on the other end of that, Justin, I think you kind of alluded to an interview with Eric Johnson, the frustration kind of Jet doing so well, and you want to be one of those guys to beat him. So with the party going on here, you're like, hey, I want to be the guy to spoil that. And when he catches you first moto, is that, you know, are you frustrated under your helmet? Kind of what's going through your mind when you get run down? Second moto?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the way he's been riding, it's, you know, it's kind of expecting him to get up to the lead there. Yeah, I was battling with Jorge there, and just really wanted to get to the front and start leading to, you know, to try to get away while I could. And feel like once I got out to the lead, I put in a few good laps, and my bike started making like a big noise in the braking bumps, and I kind of slowed down because I didn't really know what it was at first. And after like a lap, it ended up being my front brake disc guard was loose, and it eventually fell off. So everything came back to normal, but it was definitely scary there for a second. And yeah, the pace was hot for me to, you know, get up to the lead and then, you know, try to sprint away, but got a little bit tired there at the end. But yeah, had to regroup, and just overall it was a good moto for me. Felt good on the bike all day, and comfortable, which is, you know, important and goes a long way to, you know, keep making that progress.
Karaya, Moto Legacy's book series. Did the track feel unique in any way compared to previous years?
Yeah, I think it wasn't traditional. It was tough to get a flow. I felt like the ruts were really deep but super straight upright, if that makes sense. Normally national ruts are cut in a little more at a lean angle, so it was a little bit different this year on just being super deep. Track was just heavy all day long, just really, really heavy.
Yeah, like Hunter said, I think it was very deep, and you couldn't flow as much, you know. You couldn't tip it over much in the ruts because your foot pegs would grab and it would bog the bike down a lot. So I think it was a lot deeper today than previous years, I would say.
Yeah, I think we all have the same comments. It felt like we were, at least for me, I felt like you couldn't use the momentum that you had coming off the straights, and it kind of stood you up, and then you would have to ride the clutch a little bit. So a little bit tougher on the bikes today, and yeah, it was just it was standing us up, I feel like, in the turns, which is not like usual.
I have one for Justin. Justin, I'm kind of curious. You know, you've been teammates with these legends, Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb. Now you're kind of surpassing them in some outdoor races and stuff. Has the dynamics changed within the team at all?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm surpassing them by any means, but I feel like I'm right there, and I'm doing my best. So, yeah, I don't think surpassing is the right word, but definitely the team's giving us all the same effort, and they want to see the best out of me. I want to see the best out of myself, and yeah, we're trending in the right direction, and definitely not going to give up. Going to keep fighting.
Hey, Tom Jurnett, Racer X. This is Lawrence. Jet, Hunter, you guys get to ask all the time about racing each other, but first moto, you guys were going at it for a couple laps. Just talk me through. I mean, looking at it, it looked fun.
Yeah, it was cool. You know, one section on the Talladega turn, when I kind of squared him up, I was like, I wonder if he could still win if I put him into the VIP tent on the left. Pulled out of it a little bit. Obviously, didn't end up there. But, you know, I thought that could have been interesting for the race, but we just kept it clean, and, yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah. No, it was fun. It kind of like went back and forth so many times because one would be on the outside, get the drive, but then they're on the inside for the next one, and the insides were super deep. So for like 4 turns in a row, we're going back and forth. But thankfully, he was very nice to me and didn't send me to the VIP. So thanks, HJ.
Kellen Brower, Swap Moto Live. This is for Hunter and Justin. I think this is the first time you two have shared the podium since you raced in the 250 class. Can you guys just talk about like
the development of establishing your footprint in the 450 class and getting to this point?
We shared the podium a lot last year. I think there was a lot of rounds in outdoors that we were both on the box. So it's cool because obviously we race so many legends that have been in the 450 class for so long. So it's kind of, reminiscence of the 250 days coming up, so it's cool.
Yeah, we've definitely, me, Jet, Hunter, we've shared a lot of podiums together over the years, and always good racing these guys, and always race me clean, respect them. So yeah, many more to come.
And then to Jet, like as an extension of that question, you've kind of led this next generation into where you guys are now. So how cool is it to, like, you guys all race each other on 250s, and now you see each other a lot on 450s, and it's kind of been like this recurring theme between you all?
No, it's really, really cool, Like J. Coop said, we've raced each other for so many years. We've built this respect with each other where we race each other clean. It's when we are next to each other, we're good. We're kind of comfortable next to each other. Like, unlike some other guys, you kind of get a little sketched out where I could go down a rhythm lane with J. Coop, be fine, vice versa, even with Hunter as well. We race each other very respectfully, and I think it's one really cool thing, and being able to race against them for most, obviously all my career so far has been it's been really cool.
All right, Austin Huff, South Bend Tribune, Jet. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you not race in this last year? Did you get injured right before the race? Right. So to be able to come back to this one, I know this is a very popular race on the circuit for you guys to actually be healthy and win this. Does it mean any more for you after you're not being able to compete last year?
Yeah, no, it sucks, that I didn't get to race last year. I really like this track, and I was bummed I missed out. Last year the track looked good and fun, and there's always good vibes here, especially with the fans. So I'm definitely glad I was able to race it this year.
Jet, Hunter, another one. Word on the streets is the past couple of weeks you guys have been riding Kroom. Is that on the radar again for the week, and are you guys going to give him the Kroom?
Yeah, I'm going to ride a quad this week. I'm going to take a quad through one of the lakes, try to get it buried, and get out.
This is Cody Dar with RacerX. Hunter and Jet, how does it feel to bring Honda back to the top step and dominate the series like you have been this year? In previous years, you guys, the Hondas maybe haven't been as high up on the board, but now you guys are really setting the tone and going back to back 1-2 weekends. How does it feel to dominate again? Dominate the sport again?
It's really cool, obviously, and to do it for Honda as well, it's even better. There's a lot of old fans of Honda, and we always get praise and say thanks so much for putting Honda back up there, and it's really cool. Honda being such a big manufacturer is awesome, and no, we're just happy to do the Honda. People proud, obviously HRC, B-Dub, Lars, obviously the big bosses in Japan as well. So I think we're just happy to be up there and put the bike on the top set where we think it belongs.
Yeah, what he said, it's the ultimate thank you for all their hard work. All the guys, just like everyone else here in the paddock, they're away from their families and kids on the weekends, during the week and stuff. So that's just the ultimate thank you for them, and we just try to do as much as we can for them.
Yeah, Mitch from Racer X with another one for the brothers real quick. I think you guys have switched each other's bikes during press day yesterday. Is that a little bit of... Did you guys
sure?
Did you guys ride each other's bikes and kind of...
When?
No? On press day?
Oh, yesterday? Oh, I don't recall. I mean, I did some laps and kind of changed a few suspensions, like clickers and stuff, I think.
Do you
I think
ever...
you need a Red Bull, mate. You're a little dehydrated.
Yeah.
Well,
it must be. I think it was that.
Can you guys, are your settings, kind of similar? Or there's things that, I'm sure there's things, Jet, you do well that, Hunter, you are like, hey, how do you get your bike set up? What's it like learning each other's, preferences and settings and just at the test track, at the tracks, whatever?
I mean, I'm not sure because I've never ridden his bike in my life. So, I just kind of, what I feel comfortable on, I think me being a little longer, I weight the rear a little bit more, so sometimes I need a bit of a stiffer shock than HJ would say. Again, I'm not sure. I've never ridden his bike before, so It's yeah, I prefer that just because I am a little bit further off the back and central, where Hunter feels like opposite, you know, more central and forwards.
Is it the corn dogs maybe for you?
Could be the corn dogs. It does add a couple weight. I mean, I had a hot dog yesterday. I think I had 3. So
You're going after Jerry Chestnut, huh?
oh no, I'm super far from there. I don't want to make myself feel sick. So, but could be them. The sag numbers were a little lower than previous times, so I think it was because of them.
So Hunter, when you're switching to his bikes, what do you see like going off your settings compared to his? Like you mentioned a little bit.
Not like it's just whenever we want to try something, you know. Like I kind of steer the ship on the testing side of things. Jet steered the ship last year before Hangtown, and didn't turn out the best for him. So yeah, it's just kind of when we want to get a direction and stuff. I'm very sensitive on what I feel on the bike and able to relay good feedback, and as is he, you know. But it's just kind of when we want to go 2 different ways, but we want to try both options with both riders, and yeah, we are on a very, very similar setup.
And then final one, I know you got on this bike last summer, the last couple rounds of Pro Motocross. How big was that? I mean, you did pretty well too on it. And then how much of a stepping stone was that for this summer and just the progress this year in general?
Yeah, it's good. We had our own challenges, as does everyone with a new bike, right? And the team worked unreal. They worked extremely hard, and we're in a better spot again. You know, after the first 2-3 rounds, the bike really took a step forward. You know, which maybe had we not have raced it last year, maybe we would only be taking that big step forward on the next break. So yeah, it's always good to invest into the future bikes that we will be racing and stuff like that, and try and get ahead where you can.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. We'll see you at Spring Creek next weekend. Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, Justin Cooper, your top 3. And also, you may have noticed circulating social media, the Love Moto Stop Cancer campaign t-shirt. So this is our Love Moto Stop Cancer race, one of them. So for more information, for donation details, you can go to supercrosslive.com/St. Jude. And when you commit to a $19 a month monthly pledge, that will get you that t-shirt that you are seeing all of our racers represent and a lot of our people throughout the industry. So again, that's supercrosslive.com/St. Jude, our Love Moto Stop Cancer campaign. In just a few brief moments, we'll be welcoming up our 250 top 3 from this afternoon. All right, and I'd like to welcome up our 250 top 3. Joe Shimoda, Jalik Swoll, Michael Mosman. Okay, again, Joe Shimoda, Jalik Swoll, Michael Mosman, our 250 top 3. Joe, huge congratulations. This was not just a big race for you being the Honda RedBud National, but the way in which you did it, it seemed like a really big step forward, a dominant day. Did it feel different to you?
No, just riding same, like my fitness same. Everything's about same, but start. So, yeah, like I was honestly more stoked about start than just winning a moto, but yeah, good for Honda, and it was a really good day.
Incredible ride all day long. We'll turn it over to questions from the media.
Jim Kimball with Motocross Action for Joe. Joe, it's kind of funny. We were talking yesterday at press day about you getting your first win this summer, and it seemed like it was just coming down to starts. And now you've done it. Do you feel pretty confident going into the next couple rounds?
I mean, we have to keep making improvements. today it worked out with this third texture, but maybe for Millville, I don't know, it could be a little more sandier, it could be a little tackier, so I just have to be aware. But yeah, I would say much better than all of my start, you know, from the first round. So I think this direction is really, really nice.
How about a follow-up one for Michael Mosman? This is a great race for you today. Talk about some of maybe the doubts you had after that big crash and how it feels to get here now.
Yeah, after taking so much time off, you know, you wonder, can you still do it? Can you still get to that speed? And then, you know, there was plenty of days of the track where, you know, I was a ways off, or even getting to the races and having to just relearn. I mean, it's been 3 years, you know, since I really been racing outdoors like a whole series. So, yeah, it's relearning the tracks, relearning where you stack up in the competition. I mean, so many guys have, you know, grown and developed, and I mean, granted, here I am with 3 guys who I could have shared a podium with, you know, 3 years ago, but yeah, so it's just you wonder, can you still do it, and question and doubt, but sticking to the work, trusting that it's going to work out, trusting in what I'm doing, and obviously it's leading to good results. So I've just made a lot of smarter decisions throughout this year, and I still have a lot to room to grow. And I think that's what's exciting, is that I think nobody here is like, oh, Michael's about at his peak. Like, this is the best he's going to get. Like, he's going to top out here. I don't think anyone would say that. So it's just an exciting time, and continue to try to be mature with when I push and when I, just bring it home. So.
Scott Yarjo, Moto now. Jalik, it seemed like you immediately returned and at race pace already. Did you expect yourself to be on the podium so quickly?
Not really. I mean, we came in with the mindset of just trying to get some top 10s or whatever. I knew, like, from the way I was riding in boot camp, that I had unlocked a new level of speed that I feel like I could compete with anybody. But when I went down with the Achilles, I mean, I didn't see it. I got back pretty quick for what the injury was, put a lot of time in, and honestly, I didn't expect to, but when I got back at high point, I knew when I got closer to 100%, I could be up here. So I fully believe that, and I just didn't expect to be able to run up front at like 80%. So, but that's no knock. The guys are obviously ripping, and everybody's fast right now, and everybody's fit, and I think that's where I can really start to progress, is when I get my fitness back. Like, my fitness is not there. I'm like really digging the deepest I've ever dug in these motos just to finish. And then after Southwick, I obviously was running 5th, and last lap had that crash, and had some other stuff happen, but wasn't able to ride this week. So I just kind of just been making it harder on myself this whole time, but for the most part, I'm proud of the progression, and I can only really get better from here, so it's exciting.
Yeah, super impressive, all things considering. I guess, like, do you feel like you have like a 20 minutes at full pace in you, 25? Like, how soon do you expect to have a full 30 minutes plus 2?
Well, getting that whole shot in that second moto gave me a little spark of energy. Lasted a little bit longer than normal, but normally I'm at like the 15-minute mark with my tongue in the spokes, and I'm just hanging on. So, I mean, it is what it is. I haven't been able to really train like I'm supposed to, just coming back from injury, and I'm having to cram in testing and all that kind of stuff while I'm doing motos. So it's been pretty hard, and even that I haven't had much time to do motos. So, I mean, I'm just playing with the cards I'm dealt at the moment.
Thanks. And Joe, I believe your contract's done at the end of this year, so I'm assuming you're probably like shopping around, maybe returning to Honda, maybe moving to a new team. Do rides like this kind of reaffirm that, hey, you want to be back on Honda, the bike seems to be getting better, you seem to be getting better, or does it help you like shop around and look around and give you like that dollar value?
I don't know if I can really answer this. I haven't really signed on any papers, so but I guess I'm looking good on Honda right now, so but yeah, I can't really answer to this. Nothing is confirmed yet, so sorry.
Hey, Mitch Kendra with Racer X. Let's go to Jalik on this one. So obviously we talked about the pace and everything and the fitness. I'm sure your setup's a little bit different than the other guys on the team, but when you got hurt and then when you got back on the bike, were you able to tell a difference between the Supercross and I know you probably didn't train Supercross, but were you able to tell a difference in the bike just having teammates? As I feel like last year that was such a, you were doing everything on your own, and then you went to the races and you were getting the data. Could you tell a difference getting back on the bike after your injury, having teammates that were able to test at the track and just, I guess, help progress the bike a little bit?
Yeah, obviously I have a bunch of teammates now, so it definitely helps. And I mean, I feel like the bike was like completely different, so it was hard for me to jump back in because I was almost just kind of getting on whatever they had found throughout the year, and that isn't necessarily the thing that's going to work for all of us, but I was given a good package. Obviously, my suspension tech Drew has been killing it, and we've just been hard at work. And obviously, having Styles did a lot of the testing for me. We ride pretty similar, so he's able to kind of be my guinea pig right now. And obviously, not being able to ride this week, he was able to get on the bike and figure some things out that I was struggling with. And so I was able to come in here and have a few different directions that help fix it for me. And we just got a good group. And like I said earlier, not everything kind of just translate to being better, but for the most part, those guys being able to kind of just go through a bunch of different parts and just make it to where I don't have to try it. So it's been nice. It's been good. A complete change of pace from last year, being able to just not have to test every time I race. So it's been a lot better for me, and I feel like this year it's helped me a lot. I've only been back for 3 races, but I can tell the steps that we've made in this short time for me.
Yeah, and so you've only been back for 3 races. Is there a big difference? Like, is it a completely different setup than you were last summer? Just because the bike had progressed and they'd found new things, and just you as a rider, like, did you have to change your settings at all coming back from the injury, I guess?
Yes and no. We were just winging it last year. We didn't really know what to expect. I was the guy on the team, and I had to figure it out. And now, like you just kind of said earlier, like, it just makes life a whole lot easier. Like, it's different when you have teammates out there that can just kind of troubleshoot everything. And we all have seemed to now start going in sort of a similar direction, so it is starting to work out for all of us. And it is, I don't know, I feel like the biggest change for me is like we've done a lot of different like motor position testing, and that seemed to help a lot. So it's only going to get better the more I ride. Like I said earlier, I don't have the riding time right now to really even want to go in left field and make a bunch of changes. I'm kind of riding myself back into shape, so it is hard to come back from practice or whatever and tell them I don't like this, go somewhere else, So the more I race, the more I'll get comfortable, and that's why I said I can really only get better from here. There's a lot of steps I can take right now in terms of like getting more comfortable on the bike and making it easier to race for me. And when I get back able to, do the motos back home with the boys, I'll be able to learn some more.
And then last one for Michael. I think last week Bobby Reagan had some interesting comments to you. Are you going to make any phone calls this week to him? And just, I guess, what would you say to him?
That was a few weeks ago. He's, we're on fine terms, Bobby and I enjoy hanging out with him and spending time with him. So, I think that, things are looking better and better for me to stay there, the more I perform. So that's exciting. But obviously, looking at my options. You know, I got to keep options open because it's certainly not a done deal. And yeah, he told me, you know, I need to go out and perform, and I said, that's pretty much what I understood. You know, that's how this works. So yeah, I've been performing and just trying to ride with a level head and put in consistent, solid rides, and try not to overreach. And it's been working for me. So going to continue that and hopefully end up back there next year.
This one's for Michael. To maybe expand on that question a little bit. I know you've stated a few times, I've seen you say, yeah, I'm riding for a ride. Riding for a contract for next year. And it's interesting to me because generally you've been one of the top guys at Star. I have to believe that this race is really going to cement that further.
Yeah, they want to see me prove it. They want to see me be consistent. I mean, they're a top team, and they want people who they can count on for championships. And they want me to be a consistent podium guy and show that they can count on me, show that I'm competitive and ready to fight for wins. And yeah, and so it's a fine time right now for me. I've been on this plan to build, and you know, part of that means that I wasn't as good as I am now during the early bit of Supercross. I wasn't as good as I am now during the early bit of outdoors, and there has been a lot of testing and development. I think that I took the bike in a bit of a different direction than a lot of the other guys, and yeah, and so I think it's just about building, and now they're seeing the results and they're seeing the plan come together. And I think that you know, a few months ago they weren't seeing it. So yeah, stoked.
Austin, South Bend Tribune, Joe, question for you. The 450 guys were up here and said that the course or the track was maybe a little different this year than maybe years past. Did you notice anything different while you were out there racing today with the setup?
Well, me and Jess was talking about that. I think I don't know. Today it was deep, like just deep. Every corner or after the finish line, all the like switchbacks, back section, just had like, I don't know, 20, 30 right at each corner. So yeah, not like a typical RedBud. I feel like they prepped it much differently. It slowed down a lot though. So.
And then I believe you were on the podium last year, but to get a first place and to do it kind of in a dominant way, just how kind of cool is that for you to, you know, move up a couple spots and actually, you know, podium this year? Win, I say. Sorry.
Well, I think I believe this is my first win with Honda for outdoors, so I don't know, I'm simply just super stoked.
Joe, kind of building on that one a little bit, I think your first 1-1 race came at the season finale a couple years ago. So to be able to do this in the middle of the season and you're second in points now, do you feel like you can carry this one through the last few pro motocross races this summer? Like, are you fired up here the last couple races now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fired up all the time. I don't know, like last couple of rounds, usually like the tracks, I like East Coast tracks, fast. I don't know, people tell me like I'm a technical side rider, but personally, like Southwick, just these fast tracks, like you can get a little cindier. For me, like I feel like I can perform better. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
How was the leap this year on the 250? Did any of you jump it or like consider jumping it?
No.
No.
Yeah, no.
Well, for me, like every year is a no.
And I guess, would you rather be prepared in this way so that it's like really difficult in the 250 and most guys aren't doing it in the race, or would you rather be prepped so that it's easier to jump and more of an obstacle for you?
I ain't jumping it.
I mean, to be fair, I might not have a ride with Star next year because I didn't jump it. But, yeah, personally, I would like the 450 guys to be the superheroes. Leave the 250 guys out of it. Make it hard for them to jump. Where they're not hitting it every lap. That's me. But also, you're gonna have every year if they prep it right, we will send it. I've hit it some years before, and it's just the way it is right now. It's deep, and with that roller and the turn, it's just really, really hard to get the drive to do it. I heard of 3 people that did it. I think Hayden clipped just barely his rear wheel. I heard Tom Vial faced it, and I heard Juju Beaumer landed on top and bounced to the bottom. So that was enough data for me to know that it's not for me.
Yeah, don't make it happen.
Cody Darr with Racer X. This is for all 3 of you. So we got Loretta's coming up. Can you guys just elaborate and maybe give us some tips or give the kids a little bit of advice maybe to going into Loretta's? And then even if they don't do well at Loretta's, what's maybe something they can try to keep in their head to make it so they can be professional after that?
I think maybe not to put so much emphasis on Loretta's. I think it isn't end all be all, and you don't know that in the moment until you're pro. Loretta's is a big deal, and if you can win, obviously you go win, but your career doesn't end if you don't win Loretta's. So, and I think that's probably one of the biggest things. I think you show up to Loretta's and especially me as a kid, going to Loretta's, I'm Loretta's, have to do good to get on a team, and it isn't really like that. Obviously you want to show promise and you want to be good at all the AMs, but I don't think your career is dependent on if you win Loretta's.
I honestly think he's probably right. He did much, much better than me at Loretta's, so I don't know.
I would say don't panic after practice. They bring in so much sand, and it's so gnarly that don't panic after practice because the track changes and develops throughout the week. And the other one is I don't recommend going in the pool. That might end your pro career right there.
Well, gentlemen, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much to our media. Again, Joe Shimoda, Jalik Swoll, Michael Molesman, your top 3. We'll see you guys next weekend, next Saturday in Spring Creek in the North Star State. We'll see you then. Thanks, guys.
Good job. Sir.
They really?
I do. They're better than the Red Bulls.
Yeah, anything better.
Brandon, thanks for,
Of course.
good seeing you out.
Yes.
Safe travels to Minnesota.
Yeah, appreciate it, and probably see you here.